We have another team for you here. They tackled a very relatable problem, something a little bit more general and universal. Um, Before I let go, I want to just say that this is the last team I'm introducing before I hand the mic over to my friend and colleague Tom, who contributed with the senior phase for this particular cohort. So I just want to thank everybody for making my experience with this senior cohort a great one. And I really look forward to seeing all the stuff that you do, not just full stack, but Grace Hopper and remote and Chicago and all the programs. All right, so Coordinate, take it away.
Has this ever happened to you? You're a hard-charging software engineer with a challenging but fun job in the financial district. Because you play as hard as you work, when your friend texts you to meet up for a bite after work, you say, fantastic. But wait, your friend works all the way uptown. And to make matters worse, the other two people in the tech chain work in Jersey City and Brooklyn. How are you going to find and decide upon a place that is convenient for you all to meet? I will tell you. You find that with our app, Coordinate. Hi, my name is Sam Glass. This is Forrest Wolf, David Berger, and Jackson Sweet. Together, we made the last mobile-first web app that you will ever need to solve one of the 21st century's most intractable and important problems: how to n number of geographically inconvenient people all meet up in a convenient way. To take you through our app, I introduce my colleague, Forrest Wolf.
Thanks, Sam. Once you've created an account on Coordinate, you can list favorite foods on your profile, add other users as friends, and most importantly, create a trip. Creating a trip will automatically send an email to the people you've invited, linking them to the trip page. Now, a trip in Coordinate has 4 phases. It starts out in the confirmation phase, during which you can RSVP and mark the location you'll be traveling from. Once everyone's confirmed, our app uses the Google Maps API and an algorithm David will tell you more about in a minute to calculate an optimal meeting point and suggests 5 restaurants near there for voting. When all the votes are in, the trip moves to the directions phase, showing a map with everyone's starting points and the meeting point marked, as well as a link to directions. Finally, when a trip is finished, it can still be viewed from your profile, but is no longer active. But how do we calculate an optimal meeting point? Well, for that topic, I'll hand this off to my teammate, David.
Upon conception of our idea, we realized that the best place to meet up is not usually the exact geographic center. For example, if I'm on the Upper East Side and my friend is in Astoria, that could put us in the East River, or worse, Roosevelt Island. So, we came up with 2 criteria. The best meeting place should simultaneously reduce travel time overall and strive for equanimity of travel time between friends. So we scored potential meetups based on total travel time and deviation of individual travel times. But since we can't check all street corners in the 5 boroughs, we use this technique inspired by simulated annealing. Essentially, we start at the geographic center, but include candidate locations from a very wide radius. Whichever candidate location has the best score becomes the new center, and then we tighten the radius. After that iteration, we arrive at an optimal meeting location that is not in the East River. We also discover that sometimes Brooklynites should meet in Manhattan, but that's just a small part of our app. So to talk about the many more moving parts, here's Jackson Sweet.
Thank you, David. So because Coordinate is a mobile-first web app, the user interface, or UI, was always important to the finished product. To highlight this, I'm going to talk about the single URL trip. When a user is invited to a trip, they receive an email from the Coordinate app. This email includes a link which prompts the user to respond with their starting location. However, once all users on a trip have responded with their current starting location, that same link is used to vote on their preferred restaurant. Because the same URL is used, there's never any confusion about what input is needed, and the users can remain coordinated in their dining plans. Working on this app presented our team with many firsts, from using new technology to taking an app all the way from brainstorming to deployment. It would not have been possible without the work from all of our teammates. In fact, we used the app over the weekend to get brunch in Brooklyn, so we can verify it does work. And so, if you are ever having difficulty getting a group of friends together for a meal, I'm happy to recommend Coordinate as a solution to your problem. Thank you.
That seemed to be I think they definitely picked a very real problem. And I like the optimization about not just using distance, but using travel times and maybe other data that they have about where the person wants to go next.
Yeah, I think I like the presentation. It was like kind of something that transitioned from, okay, this is pretty cool, to like a very cool use of
Yeah.
how algorithms really like drive our life. A good example of how algorithms are everywhere in our life. I also think that they need to add something to the algorithm, because travel time is very much like how I view it. But if someone emails me and it's my treat, I'm like, Roosevelt Island, here I come. So
That's right. Who's paying?
who's paying is
Who's
like the
paying
other part of my
should get some priority. That's fair.
that pulls the annealing algorithm over to the okay, very cool. I like that yeah, I like that the use of the algorithms in that project.